Anybody on the YouTube right now?
Checking Twitter came up now.
Hello. Yeah. This is our 17th. Nextcloud has, the calendar tells you what week of the year it is. So because of Nextcloud, I know that this is the 20th week of 2021. And this is the 17th weekly update we're doing, 17 weeks straight. It feels really exciting. So, hi, everyone. We're glad you're here. Every week we like to finish up by telling you about what we've done, what our next steps are, what we hope you might do next, and then we take a few questions from anybody who tunes in. But we always like to start with some shout outs, so let's jump right into it. Roberto, you listed this one. I could also shout him out, but you want to take the Randall one?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Randall for many things. I mean, he jumped on our Discord and our calls and our random calls in our Discord. He's a great example on many things. On my specific case, he just tried to help me with Dandelion because this week has been crazy. It's still down. Our deployment is still down because our cluster on this new provider I chose to build from the scratch Kubernetes, it just is resting in peace now. So yeah, shout out to Randall for getting involved and being such a good example on how to engage with people. Thank you, mate.
Amen. I'll piggyback on that in just a minute. But you guys want to also talk about DC?
Yeah, I also included DC this time because, I mean, DC, it's a Liquid founder, Liquid Finance project founder. He's building, many things from Plurus smart contracts to, tooling and integrations, API integrations for the smart contracts. And we are involved with them to adopt their APIs and their oracles, and wherever they build, we will be serving them from Dandelion, making it easier to anyone who wanted to deploy it. So shout out, thanks for building Liquid Finance. That's gonna be a great project.
That alignment is so exciting. And yeah, as we build out Dandelion, knowing that that's going to be a part of it is just, it makes so much sense. So much more to come on that. I want to piggyback on shouting out Randall and give a shout out to N+Full, who's been hanging out on the Gimbalabs server. I think what both of you have in common is this understanding of what's going on here and your opportunity to jump in and just start participating on your own terms. I should have included Ohm on this week's shout outs as well. I know we got him last week, but same idea, right? What we're doing is big, complicated work that involves both technical understanding, but also the ability to engage with each other and start sharing ideas. And sometimes it can, it involves some risk taking on the part of all of us jumping in. And just every week we see somebody new who gets it and wants to dive in. So it's been really nice seeing you around. Similarly, Farouk and Andy have seen a role for themselves on the scheduling DApp project. So they've been helping to design that. And like everything, right, the scheduling DApp is just a starting point, and we hope that this gives us relationships that we can then build on with each other to continue building more. Who wants to take the community advisors?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to them. At least what they did, I mean, for the whole community, but also on our proposals where we are part of and or an implementation team. So shout out to that. We're thankful for your work, and it's so important, so crucial for the whole community. Yeah.
Thank you to all of you. It's unbelievable, both the system that community advisors are building, but also just the straight up volume of work, they more than doubled the goal, right, of getting 3 advisor, what do they call it? Advisor ratings, advisor reviews of proposals. They got almost more than 6 per proposal. I mean, we're talking thousands of reviews that take a substantial amount of time each. So just an amazing amount of work. We had some questions last week about what our proposals are in Fund 5. We just wanted to list them here. It was really inspiring to go through the feedback. How do we talk from a big picture perspective about the different proposals we have on the table here?
I would say it shows somehow also our mission, our vision, our aspiration to really contribute to the adoption of Cardano. And also it highlights like our DNA as Gimbalabs, because we are involved in a DeFi ecosystem. We have a big portion of focus in the developer ecosystem to build it further. dApps and integration come with it along as a natural output of our playgrounds. Metadata challenge, something crucial. So we want to pick up all these options, tools that need to be used and show a value to existence, and really push it with the proposals we place there. And maybe Giovanni want to add some comments here. And of course, the Catalyst value onboarding. So we're closing the cycle. We really want to make an engagement also with Catalyst that actually we found out be also a valuable stream for us in the Gimbalabs network, to onboard people, to help people, just to have a conversation, or just even to guide them. So yeah, I think it just shows our commitment to the whole community, to the ecosystem, to Catalyst itself, and of course showing our DNA we wanna realize for the long term here.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with Julie. First of all, I follow, and I want to thank all the community advisors have done a great job. With regards to the metadata challenge in particular, we have this proposal about the blockchain authentication mechanism that is basically a way of making a decentralized friendly authentication mechanism instead of the usual username and password that we've seen that is widely adopted in the normal systems, like as we used to. So, and this should really contribute to make of dApps decentralized from the ground up, and not only in the feature that they are trying to achieve, but because if dApps still use like a normal username and password, we still have this type of of centralization that we want to break, and we want to create something that is really blockchain friendly.
Yeah, and I want to say a couple of words connecting to what Julie said about our holistic way of driving adoption, because I think there is many ways you can help and encourage people to build on Cardano, even people that it's part of the community. And we are not missing here because it's not part of Gimbalabs directly, but I also collaborated with Caso from Boostpool. He's part of the community, and he was like not really involved in Catalyst, so I started talking with him, and now he has his own proposal, and he's building a wallet, and that's fruit of just talking to people and empowering them with pointers to tools, and yeah, like encouraging and empowering people to build on Cardano. Has a lot of angles to tackle that mission. So that's Gimbalabs. I'm proud of that DNA that takes this approach of just engage with people and push them to be their better self somehow. I want to thank Julie. You wanted to
No,
say
I
something?
like it. Be a better self by adopting Cardano. That's great.
I mean,
we are building tools and
Yeah.
systems that will empower people.
Yeah.
Even though if it's a greater challenge that making a traditional company and business, which probably will be more profitable from the beginning, but yeah, that's at least that's my feeling. Wanted to share it with anyone watching. I want to thank all the community advisors. Even though they hit me a bit hard in my DeFi proposal, the challenge was scale up Cardano's DeFi ecosystem. So that's what I tried with my proposal. I want, as Giovanni said, a decentralized application. It's as decentralized as any of their most decentralized parts are. So the backend services and the network that powers the DeFi applications we will be building on top of Cardano needs this network of deployments to be truly decentralized, to not let down anyone trying to access their finances. So just wanted to say that that's because this is on DeFi ecosystem, because I think that it's more important for DeFi than for the developer ecosystem itself. I mean, the tools are there, you can deploy all these things, but we need to build this network, especially for DeFi applications, because they probably are the most critical to people that need to use this day by day for payments and getting their business online.
building infrastructure is not sexy, you know.
Yeah.
It's not the first thing that people see, but you can't do anything without it. And you know, we talk internally. I get to talk to you almost every day, and I'm still, you know, I joke about it, but I'm still, you know, a couple months behind you all the time. And you see what needs to be done. I think we'll, you know, as voting arrives, let's do a deep dive into that proposal in particular. I mean, we can spend more time talking about each of these so people can understand what they're saying yes or no to when they vote.
Yep.
But this one deserves special attention, both in a weekly update and probably in other contexts as well. So yeah, more to come on these proposals. We're excited to be learning together and seeing this holistic picture of this big work. Giovanni, how's Plutus Pioneers going?
Plutus Pioneer is getting complicated week after week. I actually am myself a couple of days behind. I only managed to do the 5th lesson yesterday, and it is so full of concepts. And I was actually also making a motivational tweet earlier on this week, because I see lots of people a little bit struggling. So I've been putting up a couple of videos trying to explain some concepts that I've learned over time that are similar in my previous job experience to Haskell. So I'm saying, guys, if you feel a little bit overwhelmed or something is not clear, it's absolutely normal. Don't feel discouraged or down or anything. Just a recommendation that I'm giving to everyone that is on the program and is a little bit struggling like me, maybe it's just like watch the video twice, and you'll find out that the second time around that you go about it, you'll find out lots of small details that the brain didn't just capture the first time around. And ask into the Discord channel of IOHK, like professors and all the team and other fellow pioneers. They're absolutely beautiful. This week, Larsa just briefly saw the initial part, is basically explaining a full end-to-end Oracle implementation. Is just like absolutely mind-blowing. It's so beautiful. I just can't wait to like watch for the second time, even though I'm finished with the first time yet. But yeah, it's going really, really great. And I'm really, really impressed with the potentials that Cardano has. and smart contracts have. Like, yeah, it's a lot to process, but yeah, it's going well overall, so I can't complain.
It speaks to the holistic need, because you're not just
Yes.
learning a programming language, you're learning how to think about UTXOs. You
Yeah.
made the video about how to think about monads. So that, right, there's these thought structures and monetary structures and all these different ways for things to interact. Only way to get there is over time, right? And by supporting each other. I just finished lecture 5 this morning as well, and I'm so excited to get to that Oracle video. That sounds really exciting, because I've been wondering about those for a long time. What's up with scaling Dandelion? Speaking of holistic projects.
Do you want to take that one, Gio? Given that you are the Argo TD expert here.
So last week I started to settle into my new role, and it's absolutely fantastic. I can't believe it's already a week that I've been with you guys, and I started to take a deeper look and more focused look on Dandelion. So I started to play with it. I installed it on a local Kubernetes cluster, and I just started to bounce a couple of ideas to Roberto. The thing here is that if we really want to make this tool accessible to everyone, also people with a little bit less experience, and learn as they go along, it would be really important to provide tools that would, first of all, facilitate the management of the cluster itself, and the second thing is to help visualize things. So in my previous experience, we've been using a continuous deployment system that follows a GitOps approach. It's called Argo CD. This is a cloud-native first product built by the Argo project team. These guys are the leaders into the space of Kubernetes when it comes to continuous deployment. Their pipelines are used basically on the most prominent projects in this space. So, and despite being a so powerful tool, is actually also quite simple to integrate. So we were starting to discuss whether or not this could be viable. So I can't deny that there's going to be like a small proof of concept or prototype that I'm going to try to put together maybe next week and see if this could be of benefit. I genuinely believe this is going to be fundamental to help visualizing what we are deploying onto the cluster and how many components are actually managed by the infrastructure we're building. Like whenever we think it's just the project, Dandelion, but you don't know how many moving parts there are there. Whenever you're actually able to visualize all these things, and I think as many as we already have will come afterwards and make this ecosystem even richer, it will help also people to understand what is the effort and what are the capabilities and what is the potential of this infrastructure. So definitely stay tuned. I can't promise anything for next week, but maybe in 2 weeks' time, we could do a special coding on chain in which we blend what we have already on Dandelion with Argo CD and Kubernetes, GitOps, and also see the benefit of GitOps, what it is. Maybe I'll do a couple of tweets pointing to the right directions, and whenever time comes, people already have an idea.
Yeah, man. Thank you for pushing that. I always wanted to take that route, never needed to because I was the solo player on this deployment. So I focus on my terminal and visualizing the things on the low level. So never managed to do it. And I'm glad you're gonna teach me. And so yeah.
Finally, I can return a little bit.
No, you already did it. So yeah, I need to apologize for this week. I already mentioned Dandelion endpoints are down. Has been down for a couple of days now. Yeah, I need to recognize that I failed. I failed on the challenge on moving on my own Kubernetes, managed by me from the scratch. It's not just my failure handling the management. Also, the provider I chose was cheap and not very good on performance. So yeah, I had problems because of performance of the provider, of the virtual servers they provide, also some problems on the low-level DNS stuff of the cluster. So in the end, I decided to migrate back to Scaleway, which was our old provider, and worked really well, though it's a bit more expensive, but yeah, better safe than sorry. So hope our prototyping fellows understand that this is challenging.
I've learned, and I've been said many times, that failure is a step. It's a necessary step to success. So we made the step forward, and we're getting closer to success. See it this way.
Yeah, now we will be failing on the development environment for the mainnet and testnet deployment. So everybody can keep building.
It's such a critical step. I mean, it had to happen now, right? Because you have to know what these possibilities are before we start asking other people to deploy. I'm so glad you went on that adventure. Thank you so much. And I know that was frustrating. So I can only imagine what some of those hours were like as you were hacking away at that this week. So thanks for trying. Speaking of hacking away, we are continuing to develop the Gimbalabs playground process. We've had a few consecutive weeks where it's been the same process, and it's been really exciting to start relaxing into that expected structure. And we invite folks to join us more on that in just a moment. Similarly, we're refining the messaging about the playground and everything else we do for the redesign of Gimbalabs.com. Much more of that in the future. The big idea is that Playground provides a place for conversations to happen, for ideas to hatch, and people to learn together. And then ideally, eventually, for projects to shoot off from that. And it's already started to happen. So we have a few different projects going on. They're at various stages of development. And as we start to have real things to share, we're really excited to be able to jump into that. So much more to come. Next steps, I could have just written the word continue in giant letters on this slide, but I tried to be a little bit more detailed than that. Keep on keeping on with the Plutus Pioneers program. The Dandelion work already mentioned, Playground, like I mentioned, and the website. Roberto, do you want to say anything about the second bullet point here?
No, I think I already mentioned that we will be going for this SSH from the scratch Kubernetes deploy on this chip provider, but for the development environment only. We will go on coordinating with Joey, our first contributor. Yeah, awesome. Really exciting weeks.
Shout out to Joey as well. I was reflecting this morning just when I wrote the word continue over and over again on this slide, comparing to 4 months ago, where every week it was like, hey, what experiment should we start this week? What should we try, right? And I just feel so much more peace right now because there's just work to continue. I'm spending much less time wondering what needs to be done and just saying, all right, hey, there's cool stuff to do. Get up, keep working on it. Don't know if anybody else can relate, but I know that has felt really good for me this week.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I share the feeling.
Yeah.
So as for you, our Gimbalabs community, anybody who's checking this video out, whether live right now or later on, Gimbal Pool is up and running. We're almost to that magic number of 1.5 million ADA delegated. That kind of ensures that we get a block every epoch. We're using these funds directly to fund Gimbalabs work. Much more to come on tokenomics and participation and all the experiments we want to run with that. but the pool is step 1. So just know that it's out there. We mentioned all of our Catalyst proposals, and I just want to extend a special invitation to anybody who has ideas and is wondering how to get started executing on those ideas. If you haven't found a place for that yet, we invite you to join us on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. UTC, so check your local time zones. We do it right in the Gimbalabs Discord. This is not the only place to launch ideas. We just recognize that we need a lot of spots like this across the Cardano ecosystem. This is one of them, and the door is open. So if you're looking for your community, here's one spot where you can come hang out. So team, anybody got last words, or audience, who's got questions on YouTube or Twitter?
Can you highlight the message from G?
He gets it.
Thank you.
I think that's what you need to know about Ohm is, you know, when you talk to him, you're just like, yeah, he gets it. Question about Swarm from Juan. It's been fascinating, and yeah, we have been participating with Swarm. A lot of really cool leaders are emerging there, who just share our mindset of, hey, let's do something. Let's support each other to do something. So there's another Swarm session tomorrow, Saturday. I got to double check the start time. I think it's 5 p.m. UTC, but I'm not sure. So that's going to continue to happen. Just like Playground, the Swarm sessions are another great spot to start showing up. We'll feature them. I would love for there to be a Swarm takeover of this weekly update sometime soon, where you don't even see the 4 of us on the screen, but you see some guest hosts talking about what's going on. If anybody from the Swarm is watching this, that's a challenge to you. Feel free to jump in. All right. Well, we have our weekly team meeting coming up, so I think we'll stop this stream now. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Whatever questions you got, reach out. Any way you want to get involved, of course, please be in touch. Thanks for another good week, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers. Thank you very much, everyone.
Hey,
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.